Yo, what's up guys, it's Talon. So today I have kind of an interesting style of video that I wanted to do, and that is reviewing my opponent's gameplay, who I beat in a game. I had this idea from a viewer, I think a week or two ago. They told me maybe I should review my opponent's perspective and talk about what they did wrong in the game versus me. So I thought I might as well do that here and see if you guys like this style of video, because I have been kind of running out of ideas, to be honest. I talk about a lot of things in my YouTube videos and I kind of cover most of my main things, and so if you guys have other ideas as well of YouTube video ideas, then let me know. But here we're into Renekton Jayce matchup, and so again we're going to look from the perspective of the Jayce player. From the Jayce player's perspective, there's already a mistake here, and so I'm going to kind of pause and explain. He needs to first understand the power of his champion. Jayce is one of the best level 1 champions. Renekton is not a good level 1 champion. Renekton's goal level 1 is to build up Rage in the wave and get to level really 3 where he has his full combo. So for the first 2 levels and pretty much the first recall, Jayce has a huge advantage, and he needs to be utilizing that advantage by going into this bush right here and then starting to poke me out and jumping on me if I ever walk up for a wave. He needs to pressure me off CS and make sure that I lose CS, because if he plays it properly, I should not be able to get last hits, but instead I'm easily able to walk up and get my first ability off really easily and just get the wave for free. Again, here you see how far back he's sitting, and so I'm able to walk up and Q the wave again, and so I haven't really lost anything here. And now even here, he's letting me walk up and get level 2 first on this minion. He's very scared because he just doesn't understand the champion. So you can see how I literally get level 2 before him, and I'm just able to play pretty much for free. And the first time that he engages on me, he uses his first and third ability right away. What he should do is wait for me to dash onto him or do something and then third ability me away. Otherwise, I can go and trade onto him and win the trade, as you see here. So we're going to turn off his vision as well, so we can only see the vision that he would see to, have a better perspective. And again, obviously I have to kind of go in the replay here. And so again, here even his jungler is already pathing towards me. He should be playing really, really aggressive here. So in that situation, he should have jumped up and just started trading with me and tried to get me to try to all in him, because his jungler was there. Now I had a ward there, so I wouldn't have ended up dying to that. But that is kind of the issue here. And then even again, I'm able to get an easy combo on him because he puts himself in my third ability dash, and then second ability range, which he needs to make sure that he's always 2 dashes away from me once I have level 3, because on level 3 I'm a lot stronger. But had he traded better earlier, it wouldn't have even been a problem there. And then here he ignites me way too early when I'm not even in a position to Q him. He needs to wait to ignite me until he's going to get anti-healing from his or from me using my first ability in the wave. So he needs to wait until I'm in a position to do that and then end up igniting me. But instead he does that a lot earlier, and then he goes for the Scorpion, which also just gives me control to get level 5 on the wave and just allows me to trade in with him very easily. So again, even getting the Scorpion there allows me to have a lot more time to just go for the wave. He should have pressured me on the wave, tried to bait me onto the Scorpion. So again, just a lot of early mistakes here, basically not taking advantage of the fact that he's a lot stronger in the early levels and making those kind of mistakes. And I haven't watched this from his perspective yet, so I'm kind of figuring out what he did do wrong as we watched, because this game was yesterday, so I don't remember everything that happened. But yeah, so far really just not taking advantage of the fact that he has the early advantage in terms of levels, and then grabbing the Scorpion and letting me get level 5 really easily there were kind of the main issues that he has had so far. And I think I'm going to zoom out slightly here because it makes it a little easier to see like this. It was a little zoomed in there, but I think like this should be good. I'm definitely newer to kind of doing like the replay reviews like this, so just let me know if there's any small things that you want changed as well. If you do like this type of video, again, I would love if you let me in the comments know if you like this type of video or other types of videos. And then here he's playing it fine. At this point, he kind of has to just slow push into me and wait for his jungle to push. It's not as much that he can do right now. He just kind of needs to be a little like safe with this. So, okay, well, here is the issue then. So he goes in on me with his first ability and his melee form. He should never be the one engaging initially with the melee form. The way that Jayce needs to generally play it is focusing a lot more on poking me out and then only using his melee form to third ability me backwards. So he needs to knock me back basically whenever I go on him, and until then he just needs to be playing in range form and poking me. So this is also a big issue here. And then here he needs to just push the wave really quickly, and he should be fine to just recall after that. But that is really, again, understanding the advantage of his champion, taking advantage of that early advantage would make a lot more sense. And then obviously he goes in range to be flash and full, engaged on there by me. So then we end up getting a big lead on him there just because he puts himself in an easy all-in position. And then his Amumu comes up as well, we can see here. and does not quite die. But again, a lot of issues there, just playing like he doesn't see the all-in angle that I have on him, that I could just easily flash on him when he knows I have my flash up, so he puts himself in a kill position, and then we're just able to get a pretty big lead there. And so now at this point in the game, the thing that he should really be doing is just staying in the side lane. He can't really rotate that effectively, but if he wants to rotate, he has to push the wave out first. So he could potentially just push the wave here really quickly instead of freezing. And then, yeah, so he should just be pushing this as quick as possible. So this is another mistake, and he eventually pushes it, so he doesn't do it too slow. But he wants to do this, and then he wants to use the slows to get an advantage over the objective. And so recalling here even is a mistake as well, because recalling won't really get him a full item or anything. It'll just get him, like, what? I don't know. It gets him serrated Dirk. So he got, you know, some armor penetration, but what he loses here is control over potentially being able to push and go rotate or help his team. So if he had stayed on this wave and pushed it, used the fact that he still has better range and poke to get control over the wave, he would have forced me to either trade in him and not be able to rotate. As you see here, I'm now able to rotate way quicker than him, or he would have been able to rotate first, but instead now I'm able to rotate. He's stuck here, and then we can see, you know, the fight going here. I end up looking for a potential fight. I don't necessarily find anything great, but just the fact that he's even there ends up not really amounting to much for him. Now he does a good job here of going for mid lane now that he realizes he is out rotated, and it's a very good job to get 2 plates there. That's exactly what he should have done in this scenario. And then rotating to the fight now is also not a bad thing to go for here. So these are all fine plays that he makes at this point, but you can see how even just the fact that I was there allowed for my team to be in a good position to make plays while he was stuck being late on the rotation, because he recalled like 15 seconds before the objective was spawning, which meant he had to come back and clear the lane and was not really able to do anything. And you can see even here he should have covered mid, because as well now I'm able to get 3 plates here, and if he just covered the mid lane here on me, I wouldn't have been able to get as much gold out of that. So he did a good job of going towards the mid lane, like I said, but the fact that then he left the mid lane for too long and didn't come back was a big issue, because it allowed me to get all that gold back that he had gotten previously. And now, because we're matching on the same side as him and he's a lot weaker than me, I'm just able to camp him in the bush here. Again, because he's late on the rotation, he wasn't covering the mid lane. It allows me to get control, and then we're just able to dominate here, as you see. So again, just a lot of mistakes, especially main thing so far, we spoke about the early game, and then in the mid game, not really understanding, again, the fact that he needs to be controlling the wave so that he can rotate quicker, or can at least make me have to stay longer. Instead, I was able to get on the wave first because of the fact that he recalled for a pretty useless item, frankly, and then it allows me to just easily, you know, push there, get control of the wave, rotate to the objective first, have a lot more impact, all of these types of things. And then at this point, he's fallen quite behind. It's very hard for him to play. But we will also speak about and see how he does in coming back in the game, and if he does a good job of trying to come back. He is a Sovereign player. I looked at his thing. He's not a Jace main, but he is a Sovereign player, like Sovereign peak player. So he isn't like a, you know, a low elo player who doesn't know how to play the game or anything. So we'll see how he goes about coming back in the game and see if we have any like differences, how we think he could have played that. It's good to recall here. For his item, in my opinion, he probably should have bought Eclipse first. It's going to be a bit better at 1v1ing Renekton, whereas if you're going Youmuu's first item, it's going to be a lot harder to 1v1 the Renekton. Honestly, I think probably the best item option would be Eclipse Mortal Reminder, because of the anti-healing, and because I'm building armor boots, he's going to get more armor penetration from the Mortal Reminder than he would from that, and then probably Black Cleaver third item, and trying to go a bit tankier here. So even here, he's not really focusing on the waves, which is again the similar issue that he doesn't really understand very well, is playing around the waves. So he tried to go, you know, get vision there and all that before he pushed the wave out, and then he got stuck just having to sit and go all the way back to his base. He even walks there. He should have also just recalled, because it gives you the healing faster and gives you the home guard up base and whatever. But the main issue there was, again, he didn't focus on the waves first. He didn't focus on getting the wave cleared and then going for a rotation or going to help his team. Instead, he tried to get a ward and protect a jungle camp first, which allowed me to easily push there, as you saw, and he still wasn't able to like necessarily do anything, even though my jungler was on the objective there, or on the camp there. And again, he's not going on an objective or on the waves here. So again, I want to really like kind of focus on this, because this is a mistake a lot of people make. I think it's really important to understand. So let's look at the game state, because this is a common situation that people will be in. His team is down 6,000 gold. He is not in a good position. The game looks really hard. So he now has to think, how can he approach this game to win in the best possible way? And there is a very simple thing that he can do. he can literally only focus on waves and split pushing for the rest of the game, which means as soon as a wave is in the midway point, he needs to immediately be on it. He needs to try to drag me to him as much as possible and be annoying and make the Renekton have to go onto him as much as possible instead of me being able to rotate and get free reign to push the wave really easily. So as soon as this wave is reaching the midway point, he should be on this wave clearing it, because if he does clear it, then even if he dies, it doesn't matter. He's 0-2, he's going to become 0-3, he's going to become worth basically no gold. Instead, we're able to get the Scorpion and push it out for free, and then he goes and rotates for a fight despite being extremely weak. And so you can see there, I already am able to get a double kill there. He ends up getting 1 kill out of it, but all this does is make him worth more gold, so that he can't really get much value out of the side laning later on in the game. And again, he still lost that entire wave in the top side of the map. So even though he did end up getting the kill there, he's losing out on gold on the top side. He's going to be worth more gold in the future, and he still was running a risk of even dying here. So you don't really want to be matching the strong Renekton, who is 2,000 gold ahead of you at this point in the game when your team is also behind. You want to be trying to split the map and play on the opposite side of wherever the objective is going to spawn. So he should be split pushing on the top side of the map, as in this side of the map right now, where all of his team is. Unfortunately, his team is there, which is bad by them, but he should be on the top side of the map right now because the dragon is the next objective that will spawn, and he pretty much always wants to be opposite of the next objective. Again, notice how he's not focusing on the waves. He's going once again to farm jungle camps when he could be farming the jungle camps after he pushes a wave out. Instead, he's late on the bottom side wave. He's not there to clear it. We get free turrets there, and then there's really not much like that he can do. And then again, it looks like he's even trying to team fight at this next fight. They're down 7,000 gold. He should be playing for the gold bounties on top side and pushing that top side out. That would be a much more effective thing to do at this point, because then he'd at least come back a bit in gold. Again, say that he was 0-3 or 0-4 at this point by just split pushing and making his gold bounty worth less, because once you go 0-3, you're only worth like 150 gold to kill, and you eventually get down to 125 the more you die. He would be doing that while getting a bunch of gold on himself. Instead, he comes to a team fight where I'm much stronger than him, I'm going to be much more useful in most scenarios, and they're most likely going to lose a majority of the team fights. Now, this one actually goes better than you would probably expect for them, and so he can at least be kind of happy that it didn't go too badly. But even here, this was not really him. We saw how he got very little damage off in the fight. He didn't really do much at all. And when I'm there, I'm able to get a double kill, get a lot of value, and still zone them off of the objective just because of how strong I am. And so notice how even when his team does have a good fight, he's not the one doing much there. Imagine if he was topside, dragging someone having to come to him topside. Then either one of my teammates or myself would get distracted, have to go to the topside, and then respond to him, making a 4v4, which is much more advantageous for his team because the Renekton's obviously much stronger than him. And so if the Renekton's on the side lane matching him, his team is going to be stronger in the team fight. Instead, he goes there, is very useless, and doesn't really get value, doesn't get himself stronger for later parts of the game. And we can see if we look at the gold right now, he's at 8,800 versus 10,600 on Renekton. And really the way this matchup goes for Jace Renekton, Jace will win the first couple levels. Renekton will then become too tanky for Jace to really kill in the side lane in the mid to late game. But Jace can use his farming ability and his ability to move around the map and clear waves really quickly, as well as first strike, to get a lot more value gold-wise and get really ahead in gold. So even if he's going to not be able to kill the Renekton, he uses that fact to get ahead in the lane, and then just get a gold advantage and play around that gold advantage. Instead, again here, notice how he went to the wrong side of the map once again. He went to the top side of the map where the rest of his team was, and the dragon was spawning. So what this does is, again, he's going to a team fight where he's not very strong, he's not a useful champion, instead of focusing on getting gold. It allows me in the other side of the map to easily split push and get a ton of value here on a free tier 2 turret, get myself a bunch of gold, and he's still not able to get much value in the fight. They get 1 kill, but he dies. They didn't even get 1 kill, so never mind about that. But he literally just goes and dies there. There's no value for him, and I'm able to push and get more gold, and just then we're able to win this fight here really easily. As you can see, I get another turret. So I'm out here getting multiple turrets, getting value on the side lane, and he's going to the wrong side of the map because, again, when you're behind and you want to split push, you want to play on the same side of the map, or on the opposite side of the map of an objective. So wherever the next objective is going to spawn, or wherever there is an objective up, you want to be on the opposite side, split pushing, and getting yourself ahead for the later parts of the game. Because his goal really would be to get to 3 or 4 items by split pushing, taking advantage of gold bounties, and getting himself and his team that extra gold from the gold bounties and the turrets being killed, so that then late in the game when the Elder is spawning or something, they can use that fact to then maybe come back. Instead, again, here he's going to the wrong side of the map, not really getting much value. He maybe gets a kill on Rakan, doesn't even quite kill Rakan. I'm just able, again, as the Renekton, to be way more useful in these fights than him. I eventually die after getting 2 people, and so eventually, cool, he gets a shutdown. But look at how much time he wasted where he wasn't pushing the bottom side. We still got the Baron. He's gotten no turrets. Notice how they have not killed a single turret here. I promise you, if I was playing Jace this game, even if I laned as bad as he did, I would have 100% had at least 2 or 3 turrets taken down at this point, because I would have just died for those turrets. And the gold, instead of them being down, what is that, 9,000 gold roughly, they'd probably be down 6,000 gold or 7,000 gold, which would still be very hard. But that extra 1,000, 2,000 gold on your team could potentially be the difference between getting an item or not getting an item. And so what he's doing here is what he should have been doing earlier on in the game. He also needs to know that if you use your second ability in range form on Jace, you can then switch to melee form and get faster auto attacks in your melee form for more damage. So that could help him kill the turret a bit quicker. But again, here, he shouldn't be going here. He should have stayed topside and continued pushing that, because he's just not very useful in a fight. And he's not really going to be able to do that much for his team. All he's going to do is have to flash onto someone, and then, okay, he kills an Echo and blows someone's flash. What real value does that provide to his team? Not that much. Now, okay, my Rakan unfortunately makes a dumb play, and so I guess they get 1 kill out of it. But again, the value he gets from that kill, they could have just gotten the top side by pushing that top side gold, and then that would be 200 gold per wave that he's getting, pressuring a turret, drawing someone to him so that we can't push as effectively for his inhibs. Instead, he's just stuck here, not really getting much value. So again, the main issues from this gameplay from my opponent are that first, in the lane phase, he didn't understand that he has the advantage on the first 3 levels, so he didn't take advantage of that. And then that allowed me to get an easy recall for my plated steel caps, and once I have steel caps, I now start to win that lane. As we get towards the, level 5 steel caps, that's really where Renekton takes advantage. So he didn't understand when in the matchup he needs to be aggressive and passive. And then he also didn't understand once falling behind as a team, you need to play on the opposite side of an objective as much as possible. Take advantage of gold bounties, allow yourself to die and focus mostly on the waves. Take control of the waves, push turrets, try to draw people to you, especially during objective fights, rather than constantly following your team. You can see he's always following his team. Now, he's on the right side of the map this time because there is a dragon spawning, but again, a little, too late at this point, which just makes the game very hard. And so we'll kind of speed up here, see if anything else, really happens. Just does the same thing where he tries to go to a team fight, and then, we can just see that, obviously, again, as the Renekton, we're able to be way more useful than him. He's not really able to get much value, and it looks like we do end up losing this fight, though, so like he can be happy about the fact that the fight is lost, but that doesn't really make the play correct. It's just something that happens to work out, and these are kind of the reasons that people will not learn from their mistakes, because they'll be very results based about analyzing whether or not a play went good or bad. But just because they won the fight there wouldn't necessarily make it the correct play, because again, say that he was pushing out the wave earlier and drew someone to him who's a lot more powerful than him, such as Renekton, then his team might even be able to straight up just win that fight really hard, and it'd be a lot more valuable. Not to mention the fact that that was the 3rd dragon, and each team had 1 dragon. So if each team has 1 dragon, there's no use of fighting the 3rd dragon, because it won't provide dragon souls, so it's really useless. The only time that you can try to fight that is when you're ahead and you want to force a fight, and you think the enemy are going to be dumb enough to fight you. But if you're behind, you don't really want to be fighting that unless you hit specific item breakpoints that will allow you to potentially win or something like that. And then here again, notice how he goes straight to mid lane. He's just playing ARAM the whole game. This is not how you want to be playing the game, because then, exactly as we see here, he nearly gets caught. Now he gets kind of lucky that he doesn't die, but like super close to him just dying there, and then us getting Baron off that immediately. If he was in the bottom side or the top side of the map at this point, drawing someone to him, it'd be way more valuable. But Jace is very weak at this point in the game with the items that he has. He has, what, only 3 items, 3.5 items here. And at this point in the game, that's really not that much for him. And again, he's still behind. He's been outscaled, because Renekton does outscale Jace kind of at this point in the game as well. And then he's just focusing on the team fighting. So notice again how I'm on the top side pushing out that wave initially, getting more value, and then being ready to roam. Whereas he's kind of just stuck here. And then that allows us to just go on to potentially hovering the Baron and getting control over that side of the map. So he's just really not understanding where he should control. And then he ends up getting dragged here late, which leads to like kind of a messy fight. But again, because he's just ARAMing permanently, he's not really drawing people on the map, and then it allows my team to just easily kind of bait them into this place where we have position, and then I'm able to go over the wall there. Again, because of the fact that I pushed the wave out, I was able to find that flank angle onto that Soraka, whereas he was pretty much just ARAMing on his team, so we knew his position the whole time. We had no threat of our turrets. We never had to be dragged across the map. We're always dragging them across the map, controlling the waves, and really utilizing that to carry, and then we end up carrying with the 13, 1, and 5 Renekton game there. So I hope that this was useful for you guys. Let me know if you like this type of video where I talk about my opponent's mistakes. If you think it's too toxic to do that, let me know as well. The goal is really not to flame the guy or anything like that. He's not a Jace main, he's a Sovereign player, so I know he's still a pretty good player. But I just thought this would be an interesting thing to provide a perspective of how someone I play against, even in a high elo, makes these types of mistakes that I frequently talk to you guys about. So yeah, that's going to be it for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. As always, I have memberships on my channel. They're just $5 a month. And you get access to videos early, you get access to 38 pages of coaching notes, you get some emotes and some other cool things like that. And I also do coaching for $15 an hour, so if you're interested in that, just DM me on Discord, Talon1169, or through the link in the description, and I'll see you guys in the next video.